UConn Huskies are national champions.
What up, champ?
What did that say, TJ Maxx?
What he went through was winning an NBA championship.
Gotta work with, give me a chance.
I live for Doggy's Rage.
What's the brand your seasoning is with?
Oh, it's Swaggle Special Louisiana Fish Fry.
Right now, you got that seasoning on this conversation, boy.
He went through signing the largest contract.
What do you mean I can't have it both ways?
Then he went through winning a gold medal.
Damn, Perk.
Fight back.
I almost threw up on my Cheerios.
LeBron's great, but he ain't Kobe, he ain't Jordan.
Man, you out your mind.
He said, I wasn't going to do it because Stephen A's not here, but they said, go ahead and kill him. I said, okay.
We're not doing this flirting back and forth.
You guys stop flirting.
Molly's telling people to stop.
That's not how you talk. I'm glad he froze up. I wish they hadn't gave you a list. If Perk gives another list while I'm on here, I'm out.
Nah, Molly, he's being weird.
Not again.
Divorce court, child support, Lou Dort. Tiebreakers, cold breakers, windbreakers.
What are we talking about here?
Bigger than 5.
Steph Curry, Chicken Curry, Tyson Fury.
I thought that was pretty good.
Bracing y'all for this heart attack.
I'm upset with Wendy. He get my blood pressure up.
Air quote week on First Take.
Wow.
Luka's return to Dallas on Wednesday was an emotional affair. He had to hold back tears while watching the tribute video that played for him before the game. Luka then reminded Mavs fans exactly what they're missing out on, dropping almost 50 in the Lakers win over Dallas. And listen, I am an emotional person. I'm fine with tears. I love that he was crying. Show your emotions, no problem. I couldn't help but sit there and watch and think, boy, he would rather still be on the Mavs. Why are you rolling your eyes? You don't think he would rather be on the Mavs still? You think if he went back in time, he wouldn't change it and never be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers? I thought it was very interesting. Someone sitting there on the bench in tears as to what was going on in Dallas, that he's not on that team anymore. He probably wishes Mark Cuban was still the majority governor of the team and he never left. Never seen a teammate of Michael Jordan's cry and want to be on another team. Just saying.
Oh, brother.
Just saying. You don't think Luka would rewind time and never be traded?
Evan, you were doing so well. You were on your best behavior all morning. What in the Dow scene, Mr. Fantastic, Manute Bowl Reach is going on over there for you to say something like that? Jay-Z, I'm sure, was sad when he broke up with his ex, but he would rather still be with Beyonce. And Luka Doncic is with Beyonce of the NBA in Los Angeles right now. I'm sure I understand. He was sad. It was tough to be out of Dallas. I would be crying too. He thought he'd spend the rest of his life there. But when Beyonce walks in the club, and you get Beyonce's number, you are the happiest man on earth.
But you don't cry. Jay-Z doesn't cry when he's with Beyonce. The tears are done.
Evan,
there's no more tears.
But the tears,
no more drama, Mary J. style.
The tears are not about being with the Los Angeles Lakers. The tears are about showing vulnerability and appreciating 6.5 years of my life were spent in Dallas. You saw him walking into the stadium. We had a camera following him the entire broadcast. He was hugging stadium workers. He was hugging people that he used to work with from the social media department of the Dallas Mavericks. This was not about, oh, I'm so sad to be with the Lakers. I really want to be with the 10-seed Dallas Mavericks right now. My life just flashed before my eyes.
Yes.
He probably had not given himself the moment to think about all that had gone down in about a 2-month stretch. This is the first time he was back in Dallas. Of course he's going to feel some type of way about it and let that wash over him. It has nothing to do about where he is now.
Your take made my Cam Ward-Mahomes take look brilliant. Okay, that's how I'm framing this right now. Is I no longer have the boldest take on this show. Someone's call it stupid, but we'll put that aside. To me, I agree with Courtney. He's nostalgic about a chapter of his life ending and reflecting on that and seeing how much the community of Dallas rallied around him. But he is so happy right now to be away from the GM and the owner who thought it was a good idea to trade him. That's a pretty big red flag that you thought, okay, we don't need Luka Doncic, we can get rid of him. To me, I grew up in Florida. There's nothing, in theory, I'd rather do right now than be with my high school friends, play around and golf in Orlando Florida today. Probably very, very warm today.
First Take. What's the matter
That's
with
what
you?
I'm trying to tell you. In theory, I'd love that. But guess what? For my professional life, I need to be here. He's looking at this right now saying, guess what? For my professional life, being a Laker, being with LeBron, being with Rob Pelinka, being with ownership, being in a place where every free agent is dying to come, that is why you move for work.
And you're going to, oh my God, if he could rewind time and he can go back And Mark Cuban.
What is he,
owns the
Jay
team.
Gatsby? Wait,
And Mark Cuban owns the team. And he's never traded. He would sign up for that in 2 seconds. I promise you. Dennis Rodman never said, trade me back to the Spurs. I'm with Michael now.
He wasn't saying trade him back. He wasn't giving off
Luka
that
didn't say it
impression.
either. What are we talking about? Luka didn't say it either. Luka cried some tears and then dropped 45 and then moved on to the 3 seed in the West and the possible championship for the next 10 years in Los Angeles.
He better stay then. Better stay in L.A. for all this.
Surreal. It's a crazy feeling, man. I honestly can't even explain it, but it feels good, though.
He survived the madness, and now he's a national champion. Florida Gator guard Walter Clayton Jr. joins us now on First Take. Welcome. Congratulations. What happened to Houston in the final possession? How did you guys pull this off? Everyone is still talking about what you guys did, lockdown defense, those final possessions, as you have played it out in your head, where you're up to and they can't get a shot off. Walk us through what happened.
Yeah, man. In the huddle, we talked about them either getting something from Cryer or Robert, so that was kind of our focus, just those two players. So they ran a pistol action over there on the side. We ended up switching. I think they wanted to get the ball lower in there into that corner, to kind of run a fire action, coming out that backside. So we kind of locked that up. And then I was down on the baseline with Sharpe. He kind of slipped the back screen instead of setting it. They tried to look like an elevator on film possibly, but, just got through there, got the contest, and national champions.
We've been watching the highlights all morning long and seeing that final sequence play out and what happened. Like, you go and celebrate with your team immediately, but you see Emmanuel Sharpe down in quite possibly like the worst moment of his basketball life, and you went up to him, and there's this viral moment of sportsmanship that was shown. Like, what do you say to somebody in that moment when you're celebrating the highest of high for yourself, but also consoling somebody who's really going through it?
Yeah, we grew up about an hour away from each other, so I know him a little bit on a personal level. And, honestly, there isn't much to say, but win, lose, or draw, I try to shake the opponent's hand, just kind of told him just love, keep his head up, because it's just a blessing for us to be on that stage and that opportunity in the first place.
So now we have to rank Florida football versus basketball and in comparison to everybody else. So let's do this. Florida, University of Florida, is it a football school or a basketball school?
Everything in school.
No, that's a cop-out answer. Is it a football school or a basketball
that ain't no
school?
cop. We're everything in school, man. You look at it, we got 3 national titles, football, basketball. We got some baseball, national championships. So, man, it's everything in school. I believe that.
So is it now the best football-basketball combo school in America?
I believe so. I believe it always has been.
All right, so you played for Rick Pitino at Iona. You guys both leave. You go to Florida. He ends up going to St. John's. Why did you not follow him to St. John's?
There was some family, some family connections as far as coming home, and obviously it was a new staff at Florida, so gave him a chance. Went down there, was a great visit, found out I had a daughter on the way. So that was kind of a big part of the decision. It was really tough, picking between basically 2 families, the family I built up here and my family back home, but ultimately I decided to go back to Florida.
Good choice.
Yes,
Won a
ma'am,
national
for sure.
championship out of it.
That obviously makes you grow up real quickly, being a father. How did that change you relative to on-court and off-court, relative to maturity?
Yeah, for sure. Like my mom would say, man, I think me and my daughter are still growing, maturing together. This is going to be like that for these few years. But, man, it's just great. I think it helped me with just my daily routine, just being more locked in and more focused.
So there's been, you've heard the Steph Curry comparison for the entire NCAA tournament. Jay Will, who has put you in the category of Steph Curry mixed with Damian Lillard. There's a quote right here. I'm going to read it. The run this guy's on, the shots he makes, combine Damian Lillard with Steph Curry. I'm not saying he's going to reach the pinnacle of those players, who they are, but his game screams to me like a marriage between the two. Like, when you hear that, what is your reaction?
It's a little crazy to me, just to hear that from me personally. Those are 2 of the greats, you know what I'm saying? I got a long ways to go before I even get close to that, man. Honestly, I'm just thankful for the recognition, though.
Is there a player that you model your game after, or somebody that you would say would be your NBA comp?
I wouldn't say me personally, you obviously hear the ones Curry, Jamal, Murray, multiple guys, but I just try to take bits and pieces from different players' games.
I'm curious, the competitor in you, because we know you're a winner. We know what you're about. Your draft stock is rising. We'll get to that. You remember the 2 30-plus point games leading into the final, or do you remember the final more for you? Because the 0 points in the first half was a huge storyline, 11 for the game. That's coming off of 60-plus points. Which one do you think you remember more long-term?
Definitely the final more, man.
So the bad. You remember the bad more than the good?
For sure. I mean, you could call it bad. I think,
well, for you it is. You're great.
Nah, I think the way we won that game was great, man. I think it just shows the team that we were.